But how do you describe Türkiye with a Turkish word?
Kalabalık. That's it.
Crowded?
I
That's
always
Istanbul,
use
not
that.
Turkey. Turkey is not...
Turkey? Oh, Turkey is just aşk.
Aşk.
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
Very basic word, but it is like one of
It's
like
a deep word.
yeah, it's one of my aşks is Turkey.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode with Istanbul Sour. Today we have
Sarah.
Sarah. The way you said it was Sarah.
Yeah.
Is it Sarah or is it Sarah?
Sarah is the Arabic way of saying it.
Arabic way of saying it. All right, great. So we got Sarah.
Yeah.
She's from Tunisia. She has interesting stories to share with us today.
I hope so.
I'm sure so. So Sarah, tell us about, that's the tradition. I'm going to start with the tradition. The tradition is that people, our guests, start from childhood.
Okay.
So what's your story?
All right then. So my childhood starts in Tunisia. That's where I was born. And then 1 year into my childhood, we actually moved to Kuwait. And we moved to Kuwait when I was like 1 years old. And then while we were there, my mom had my sister. So like I was an only child for only 1 year, unfortunately. Like I feel like I could have experienced it for longer, but I do love my sister.
I see.
And then after 2 years, we moved from Kuwait to Khobar, which is a city in Saudi Arabia. Stayed there for like 8-9 years, and then moved to Riyadh, which is another city in
And
Saudi
we got to
Arabia.
get to each of those things because you're like moving like a train right now.
Like my childhood is just made up of moving around to different like
see.
cities,
So, but you
different
were
schools.
Tunisia. Many people say Tunisia. Many people think Tunisia is Middle East, but is it or is it
it's-
Africa?
It's MENA. It's Middle East, North Africa. I
Middle
think.
East, North
Yeah,
Africa.
they say MENA.
So is it true when we say Tunisians are Arabs, or this is a wrong statement?
Super controversial. I
I know, that's why I brought it up.
I don't think it's wrong, but I do think that we have kind of like different ancestry because maybe you know like Amazigh, they're like the original North Africans, and we also have some Berber in us. So that kind of makes us kind of different from Arabs, but technically we all speak Arabic.
It's like Afro-Arabs, maybe.
Afro-Arabs, yeah.
Can we say that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at mainly like Egyptians, even like their hair texture, even their skin tones, like it's more Afro. North Africans, because we were imperialized by the French and colonized by like all the European countries, just came down on us. That's why I
All
think
the
we
Europe
have...
came down and colonized Tunisia.
Yes. And also Amazigh are like originally lighter in skin. So that's why we're like the lighter skinned people of Africa. Although we are on the equator, so you'd assume that we would be darker. But that's just how it worked out. And it's, you know, the discussion really started during the World Cup.
The World Cup?
Yeah.
Which one?
This one, like for me, this is when I discovered that, like maybe like Tunisians don't like being called Arab, you know, because when people were cheering for the Arab teams, they were like, oh, now you want to call us Arab. But when before this, like we weren't Arab too.
I
So
see.
like you don't get to like pick and choose when we get to be Arab for you.
It's pretty much controversial because
Yeah.
not only Tunisia, but also I've had this
Morocco.
experience recently with a Lebanese guy. He got offended. He said, like, I'm Lebanese. You cannot call me Arab.
Okay, that's
I think there is this sense of nationalism that is coming out
For us,
from
it's-
most of those countries, and people want to be called by their nations, not by the ethnicity or race,
I mean,
which is fair, I think.
kind of, but like the thing is, like I do consider myself Arab, and I'm happy, like I'm proud to be Arab. But other people don't like resonate with the same thing just because like I grew up in the Gulf, so I do feel like more Arab. But growing up in Tunisia, you might feel more just North African rather than Arab per se.
I see.
So I think that's what made me feel like more Arab.
I understand.
Yeah.
So I'm more Arab than anyone else. So now the question is Tunisia. I believe that Tunisia has a very rich culture. I have friends from Tunisia. I'm always impressed by Tunisian culture, the interactions I have with Tunisian friends, and the language also. It's kind of like a mixture of Arabic French kind of a thing.
Yeah, now it's Arabic, French, and English.
Arabic, French, and English.
Yeah.
What do you call this dialect in Tunisian?
Derja.
What is that?
Derja.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Derja.
Derja. But Derja is for most North African countries as well. But it's like a different dialect of Arabic, basically.
Okay. And it's mixed with English and French?
Now it's been mixed with English. Before it was just French.
Okay.
Yeah.
And most people in Tunisia, they can speak French and Arabic?
Definitely.
But not you?
Yeah, unfortunately. I do speak Derja, like when there's a French word to be said, I do say it. Like that's my French vocabulary. It comes from Derja. And then otherwise, like, no, I suck at French.
Can you understand French?
Yeah.
I see.
Pretty much, yeah.
Great. What is the most beautiful city in Tunisia?
Hammamet.
Where is it?
It's kind of like towards the east.
Mediterranean?
It's on the Mediterranean.
It's on the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
It's like Bodrum of Tunisia.
Yeah. I love it. It's the best. And my parents also love it. So we have like a house there and we go every summer. So ever since everything, like it has everything. Like it has so many nice beaches. It has like the old city, which is like has like a bunch of really nice restaurants overlooking the sea, and there's like all the water sports that you can do during the summer, and it's basically like just like a hangout spot for everyone. Like this is where we all meet in Tunisia during the summer. So my Tunisia is basically like I see it during the summer. So for me, Hammamet has the looks, like it has the places to go, it has the good food, it has the best beaches. I mean, there's other places with good beaches.
What to expect?
It's like the clearest waters, the cleanest sand, the best weather, warm water. Because sometimes, you know, like people don't realize, but I've been to like some European beaches. That water is cold. Like this is kind of like if the weather is above like 25 in Tunis, you can swim.
I see.
So even like during the winter when you have a hot day, you can go swim.
I see.
If the weather allows it, like the water will warm up really quickly. So that's perfect. Like you can, it's basically like swimming year round for me.
Great. Yeah. Wonderful. And then how old were you when you guys decided to move to Kuwait?
1 year. I was a 1-year-old
like,
baby.
Tunisia is more like a summer experience for you then.
I guess so, yeah.
I understand. So Kuwait, one thing I know personally about Kuwait is their currency. It's like the strongest currency in the world, I guess.
It's wild.
Yeah,
I've only been there like when I was a baby, and then my dad was like, "Oh, guys, do you want to go back so you can see where you grew up for like 2 years?"
Also, you were like 2 years you were there in Kuwait.
I was there.
We cannot really ask you about Kuwait then.
No, you can't technically. But I went to visit, and like we went to the same compound we used to live in, and it was just like reminiscing. It was mainly like. It's more significant for my parents, I think, because that was like their transition period into going into the Gulf. So I think if they were here, they would have a lot to say, but I don't have anything.
I see.
I do think it's nice though. It's a nice area, nice country.
Perfect. Now, how old were you when you guys decided to move to Saudi?
I would say 3. Yeah, because I was there when I was 1.
Okay.
My sister was born 2002. And I think she turned 2 when she was there, and then we just left.
Okay, and till what age you stayed there in Saudi?
Oh, till I graduated.
Till you graduated. So you spent most of your life
in Saudi,
growing up in Saudi.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's one of the, one of the countries that not so many people know about it. There's so much ideas on media advertisements. And one of the things that inspired me to ask you questions about Saudi is because every time you search about Middle Eastern countries, it's just not the best news or media pictures and image.
I mean, currently, if you look up Saudi, you're going to get some like really nice stuff because they've been working on like changing the way people perceive Saudi and making it more of a touristic area. When I was there, it wasn't like like that. Like people, whenever they ask me about Saudi, they're like, you ride camels to school? Like, do you have to wear the...
Yeah, so is that it? People ride camels and stuff?
No, I mean, if you go to the desert, you can rent one and it's expensive, but like, I wish...
It's a luxurious experience,
it's a luxurious
like camel.
experience, yeah. Like, riding a camel is not as cheap as you think. So, I wish I rode a camel to school,
I think
but no.
that's it. Like, riding camel is off the table, guys. Nowhere in
It's
Middle East
really
people
not.
don't ride camels. I mean, that's just the experience. You gotta pay so much money to have it.
I swear, like we would specifically go to the desert, rent out a whole like campsite so we can get a camel and then take turns riding that camel. So that's like a luxurious experience. Trust me.
I see. Great, nice. So, what's going on inside Saudi Arabia? Tell
What
us.
is going on? All good things. And I'm not saying this because like I feel like I have to or anything. I just, no, because my experience in Saudi was just so positive. I was surrounded by so many good people. Like all my friends who grew up in Saudi, they always come out and they're like, oh, like I didn't have any Saudi friends. Like I don't have any Saudi friends, even though I grew up my whole life in Saudi.
You don't have any Saudi friends?
But I have so many Saudi friends.
How does it work?
I think, okay, so I was in a school. Even when I was growing up, my dad, the way he chose schools, it was like, which school do the Saudis want to go to, kind of, because he wanted us to like have good morals and like be well educated and stuff like that. So he's like, if we're gonna be in Saudi, might as well like use that aspect of Saudi to like help you grow up to be a good person. Not saying anything, but it's just like to us, like when you have like more like religious side of things, like they're gonna try to really instill like the good morals of the religion into you. So he was like really like that. Like that's why I didn't go to French school. Nothing against French school. It's just that they don't really focus on that as much. So
you went to Saudi school?
Yeah, I went to.
Was it a religious school or something?
No, it wasn't. It was just like when you go to more of a Saudi school, you end up like getting more like religious classes kind of, or like more Arabic teachers, more like, you know, that kind of environment. So I did grow up with a lot of Saudis. And one of my schools was called Madaris al-Tarbiyya al-Islamiyya, which means schools of Islamic studies, kind of like that.
Islamic studies?
Yeah.
And this school was not religious, you're trying to say?
I don't think it was, because the people that were around me, like, they were doing some sus stuff. You know, they were doing sus stuff. I'm not gonna expose anyone.
Wait. So you're saying like people party and stuff?
I mean, yeah, you can find that side in Saudi.
People party in Saudi?
Yeah.
Our age people?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, you can.
Bravo, yeah. Saudi youth. Shout out to youth of Saudi right now.
Because like you can find this anywhere, you know. Like it's just like,
yeah, I know.
So
I know. Honestly, I'm asking these questions. I also have friends, Saudi friends.
Oh.
And I know what's going on in there.
Okay.
But I want our audience to hear about it from someone who lived there. I've never lived in any Arabic countries.
But you can't think of the parties as something that you would see in like in Istanbul, you know. It's more of like a dialed down version. That's what I know. But I mean, I guess you can find extremes everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah,
in
true.
Saudi, you just like don't hear about it as much because that's not like the reputation.
Of course, not famous for it.
Yeah, it's not famous for it. But like now, I think because of like how open it's being and like how they are having so many concerts and like all these festivals, like I think it's more accepted to like do stuff like that. So I really like what like the concert part of it, but I don't know if like it was like ready for the transition so quickly. Like they had a couple of like I don't want to say problems in the first year, but it was just like the girls were not like really comfortable, but they got that under control.
Now it's better?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Okay.
And I wanted to go, but I don't think, like, I wasn't there at the time. So
I understand.
Everything fun in Saudi started when I left. which is so upsetting to me. It is so upsetting to me.
Yeah, I see. Now, there's too much advertisement on Emirates, on Dubai specifically. I guess many people from around the world, they want to visit Dubai, and not so many people want to go to Saudi.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
what do you
that
say?
should change.
Really?
I think Saudi is just, even I didn't get to explore Saudi as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because like people are always focused on Saudi like being like just Riyadh. That's the main city. That's the capital city.
Yeah.
But if you go to like the coasts,
Like,
and
what are
if
the
you-
cities?
There's, first of all, like Khobar is the first city I lived in.
Okay.
It's a very stunning city. Like they have a sahil like here.
Like beach.
And we used to go there all the time, play, and like we used to have kites. And like they changed the whole area now, so it's like an even bougier
Can women
version.
swim
Yeah, in Jeddah.
in Jeddah?
Yeah, they have
People
like
can-
specific beaches. Yeah, and I'm not sure. Like I haven't been personally, but everyone loves it. And you can rent boats. It's like Dubai basically.
I
Like
understand.
renting the boats, like going swimming. Like there's all of that is available.
What was culture shock for you in Saudi?
Never had culture shock. I lived there my whole life.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. But yeah, I mean, you were with a Tunisian family, Tunisian culture.
Yeah.
You have some values, certain values, and sometimes maybe there might be a conflict of values. Was there anything like that?
Never. No. I think
see.
the values aligned and you had like the freedom to express whatever values you wanted in Saudi. This is something I think people don't realize, but there's so many expats in Saudi, and like basically what happens is like they have like compounds where they can like live not normally, but like more normally, like how they used to live back in their own countries.
I
Like
see.
there's so many Europeans who used to go with me to school, and like so many Americans, and like they're not used to like going out and like having to wear the abaya. Back when I was there, like it was a requirement that no longer is now. But like for them, maybe like that's not like something they want to do. So you have these like compounds, which is like an enclosed community, and you can like walk around however you want to, and like dress however you want to, and no one's
is everybody
gonna...
rich in Saudi? What is it? Because this is another stereotype about Saudi. Like Saudis are rich.
No, Saudis, I think I haven't met that many like
You didn't check their
poor
bank accounts and
Saudis.
stuff.
Yeah, like I think there is a working class, definitely, but no one that's like below poverty lines. Like I've never seen that
Never
personally.
seen anybody
Yeah.
below poverty
No,
line.
I don't think so. I mean, there could be, just like my personal experience. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
but maybe
that. I think
immigrants-
they're well taken care of in Saudi. Yeah.
I see.
Like they're well supported. Like they'll provide you as many opportunities as you can. Being Saudi, you will always have opportunities,
I
which is
understand.
something I think is like really good.
So the last thing about Saudi I want to ask you is women situation in Saudi.
Yeah.
I mean, being there as a woman, was it something easy or was it something challenging? Because I guess this is the biggest stereotype against Saudi.
I'm gonna break the stereotype. I
Go
love being
ahead.
a woman there. I really loved
You
it.
love being a
Yeah.
woman in Saudi.
I really loved it. I mean, I was like 18. I was like the last time. No, I was like 20 the last time I was there. I think Saudi is one of the safest countries you can ever be in. Like I could be walking alone at night and I would
Really?
not be scared at all.
Really?
I would not. Also, it's like where I used to live, like it's always, people are always around and up. So like you're never technically walking alone in the street. Technically you wouldn't walk alone in the street in Saudi anyway. But like, for example, like if you're in your neighborhood and you want
Yeah.
to take a walk
Yeah.
at like midnight, go for it.
Nothing will happen.
Nothing is going to happen to you.
Where does it come from, this culture? Like, is it
I don't know,
morals,
honestly. I really
ethics?
don't know.
no one
Like-
talks, no one says anything, no one...
I've never experienced anything like that. Like I know
Never
a lot
heard
of,
either.
No, I know like some people get hit on in the streets sometimes, but like there's always someone watching, you know, like
Oh.
that you can't do anything without any repercussions.
I
Like
understand.
it's you're never gonna be in a situation where it can escalate. Never. So I always felt super comfortable, like doing whatever I want, like walking wherever I want.
I see.
And like, you know, the lifestyle in Saudi is like, I don't know. It's just like so comfortable. Like I was just very.
Like now, I want to go to Saudi, guys. Like, you know.
I was like having the best time of my life in Saudi, and I love that kind of lifestyle. It's like, oh, like, hey, like we're gonna go to class, but like, do you want to have coffee after? And then you want to come over to my house, and like we can just like
that's
sit.
Middle East. I miss that. I miss having
it
that.
so
You know,
much.
come over to my place after your
love
job.
it.
Let's have some coffee and stuff.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
you'd have like those like fancy little plates with like 5 types of chips and like just some nuts, and that's it. And then we'd sit there like for hours and talking and doing whatever we want. And
Nice.
my favorite time actually in Saudi is Ramadan.
Ramadan in Saudi?
Please.
I thought it's a scary time in Saudi.
Oh my God, it's the best.
Really?
I've never had Ramadans like I did in Saudi ever again in my life. Like I was invited every single day to someone's house, and every single day someone was invited.
They always invite you.
100%. And most of them were Saudis. Like this is what's weird to me is that my friends were like, no, like I didn't have that experience. I don't know why my experience was like this, but the Saudis were so welcoming to me, and they always like invited me to their houses, and they always made me included to these things. And there was other like non-Saudis with us. Like we had, because I was an international
Yeah,
school.
but also it's a matter of perspective, I guess. You know, like I remember that every time I go to a country,
Yeah.
if I have an optimistic perspective towards the country, towards the community,
Yeah.
they welcome me. Every
True.
time, even in Turkey, I know many expats telling me that I don't have any Turkish friend. Turks don't want to be friends. And I'm like, all my friends in Turkey are Turks.
Yep.
And I'm having great time with them. And they're super hospitable, super nice people. And it's just how you approach to the society. Learn their language, learn their
1000%.
culture, and that's how it works.
I agree 100%. I think that's so true, because I think when you feel like, oh, I'm coming to Saudi and I think they're going to be so unapproachable, like Saudis only like Saudis, then obviously like you're not going to be able to build anything
Right.
on that, because you already have zero like bad expectations from
Right.
them. But if you go with like an open mind and you just act normally how you would with anyone, like obviously you're going to be accepted, and they're super welcoming. Like I think they're some of the most generous people that I've ever met in my whole life.
Nice.
I really genuinely believe that with all my heart. Like you know those like funny videos you see online of people fighting over the bill?
Yeah.
Literally, every single time I go out. Every single time.
Everybody's fighting over the bill.
Everybody's fighting over the bill. Even, there's this thing. Oh my God,
missed
that
that.
happens to me.
The economy is so bad. I miss that.
This happens to me all the time. So I have this thing where whenever I finish eating, I really like, it's like a habit that I have. I have to go to the bathroom. Okay? It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Whenever I come back, it's already paid.
Wow.
It's already paid. Like they take advantage of this.
It's quite the opposite version in other countries.
and
Like the
now-
bill comes, I need to go to the bathroom.
No. And now I realized what you can do as like someone, because you don't want this to happen all the time, because then you look bad, because like why is everyone paying for me all the time?
Right.
I mean, they're not paying all the time, but like they take advantage of that moment. Like you left. So what you do in that situation is you take your wallet with you, and you go, before you go to the bathroom, you pay for it. So you have to like...
So you actually escape to go to the bathroom to pay for the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah, you have to.
I love that culture. That's so sweet,
Yeah.
really. That's
Yeah.
nice. Interesting. Thank you so much for, breaking down the stereotypes on Saudi. I really wanted to hear that. And I wanted to have this conversation with you because you've been traveling around the world.
Yeah,
You
can say
visited
that.
European countries.
Yeah.
You were just in United States 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Like 2 days ago, 48 hours ago, you were in United
Yeah,
States.
yeah.
You were in Boston? Where were you?
I was in Michigan.
You were in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
I
get
love
there.
Michigan.
Yeah. Michigan. Shout out to
Detroit.
Michigan. From Saudi to Michigan. All right. Now, moving to the part that you decided to become a doctor.
Oh my God. That was like an overnight decision.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you decide to become a doctor?
Okay, so basically what happened was I always liked biology. Let's
Okay.
just say I always liked biology. And then in my last 2 years of high school, my dad wanted me to go to this American international school.
Okay.
And in the American international school, they teach the IB system, which is like International Baccalaureate. And when you study International Baccalaureate, you have to choose your courses. And you could get to only choose like 6 courses. So my dad was like, what are you interested in? I was like, I guess like science. He was like, do you want to be a doctor? And I was like, yeah, I feel like I can do that, you know?
Was it just like that?
I swear to God, it was just like that. And he was like, okay, let's choose some sciencey courses for you. So we picked like biology, chemistry, and those are like my science courses. So when you choose 2, you technically are taking like a science pathway, kind of. So yeah, that's
Is
how
your father an academician? Because the things I hear about your father, I'm very impressed about your father as
My
well.
dad, he works in business, like business and management, but he's very like
He's into
educated.
education.
Yeah, if you see like the amount of books this man reads, he's insane, mashallah. Like, no, my dad is like one of my biggest inspirations just because of like how much he puts effort into like bettering himself and like getting more knowledge. You can ask him about most things in history, he'll know about it.
Wow.
Like names, dates, like, and it relates like not at all to what he does like in business at all, but he's so interested in these things.
Yeah.
Like whenever we go with him to the airport, he just goes into duty free and comes out like 5 books.
Books and duty
Books,
free. I've
yeah.
never seen anybody buying books from duty free. It's always alcohol and perfume.
No, no, it's always books. Like it's 5 books. And I'm like,
Nice.
Baba, are you gonna read these? And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. Even if he doesn't read them, he just like loves having them around. He's like, maybe one day I'll have the time and if you find him, you know what's his favorite activity actually?
What is it?
Going to Hammamet, going to the beach,
That beautiful
reading
city.
a book.
Nice.
That's it. That's like his ideal day is spending a day by the beach reading his book.
That's it. Great.
Yep.
Wonderful. So then you decided to become a doctor.
Okay, yes.
And you decided to move to Turkey.
Yeah.
You decided to move to Türkiye.
Yes.
So what about that? How did you choose Türkiye to be your next destination?
So I chose Turkey because, first of all, I love the country. I've been here like 2 or 3 times before I actually decided to study here. It's close to my family. So that's like, I'm a very family-oriented person. And
So you had a visit before you moved.
oh, definitely. And I like toured the schools. You know how people do this in the US? They're like, oh, I'm going to tour my schools. I did this in Turkey. So I went to all the universities. I even went to Ankara to see Hacı Tepe, and they didn't accept me. So yeah, basically I just
What was
loved
about Türkiye that you were like, I want to move there? I like this country. What caught your eye the most?
It's just the culture is very similar to ours, I would say.
Tunisian.
Yeah, to Tunisian and to Gulf culture. So like I've had that in me for so long, and I didn't want to like have such a huge culture shock.
Yeah.
You have to keep in mind I was 18 when I came here. Like sometimes I even forget. Like I was 18 when I moved to Turkey by myself to live by myself, which is insane to me now. Like I don't even know how I did that. But so I wanted something familiar, you know, and I wanted like something close. Like if anything happens, my family, I can go to them like 2 hours.
Yeah.
They can come here in 2
Of
hours.
course.
And Tunisians have free visa to Turkey.
Yeah.
So we had to take advantage of that. So we don't even like need to be concerned with, oh, if something happens, we need to get a visa.
Yeah.
So like immediately, like they can be here. And especially like, for example, what happened with COVID. It came in clutch so much because like imagine I was in America, just get stuck there.
Yeah.
And like no one's going to come take me. No one's
Stuck in
gonna take
America
care
with
of me.
Donald Trump.
He's just going to deport me somewhere. Like,
I don't like you guys.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's one of the greatness of Türkiye is that that's one of the things I heard from people. Middle Easterns feel related to Turkey.
Yep.
East Europeans feel related to Turkey. Greek culture,
Definitely.
Italian culture,
Oh my God.
North African culture. It's the greatness of Turkey is that all these cultures, Bulgarians, you know, they all somehow feel relate and connected
we
to
feel
Turkish
at home
culture.
here. We really feel at home.
That's what makes Türkiye unique.
It really is one of the most unique places I've ever been. And it's like one of the best decisions I've made my whole life to come live here, I think. And like you meet the best people. And like even if you don't like the people you're with, it's so easy to meet different people. I mean,
True.
I got really lucky and I love the people I'm with, but like I realized that if I was in a situation where I didn't enjoy being around those people, just leave your house, go like to any like international organization, you'll meet a billion other people that you can just hang out with. So I think it's such a good opportunity to have been able to spend the past 5 years here.
I see. 5 years. It's been 5 years you've been living in Istanbul. And you study at Bahçeşehir University.
Yep.
You study medicine. You want to be a doctor.
I do want to be a doctor.
Nice.
And in the US, if anyone has connections to the US, please contact me. Anyone in the hospital.
Great.
Yeah.
So now, what about student life in Istanbul?
The best.
I mean, what's it like?
I think student life in Istanbul, I want to say that like it's really affordable, which is something that I really value because my sister studied in the UK and she studied international law. Proud of her. She graduated and she's like a working girl now.
Nice.
But like my experience as a student is very different from her experience as a student. Like she lived like, you know, the typical student life. Like, oh, I need to like think about like, oh, I'm gonna go here, like I need to spend this amount of money, this amount of money. Me being here, like I've never had to think of money as like an obstacle. Like obviously I have to be financially aware, but it's not like there's stuff that I feel like I need to think too much about, like, oh, should I go out today or tomorrow, or like should I get this or that? I can do whatever I want. I think like if it doesn't need that much more thinking as much as she did in the UK, because like pound is
it's super expensive.
Like even accommodation wise, I got so lucky. Like I live with a roommate and like.
Do you live in Kadıköy?
I live in Ataşehir.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've had such a good experience the whole time I was here. Like my accommodation was always very affordable. My landlords, surprisingly, most people have issues.
There are some issues with landlords. Yeah.
I love my landlord.
Wonderful.
I wish she would watch this and know how much I love her. Like she's the type who doesn't like, you know, do the crazy rent raises and stuff like that. So I've had like a very stable experience with like accommodation. Like my sister had to move every other year because every other year she would have like issues with landlords and stuff like that. So I don't know, I just like feel very comfortable as a student here.
That's
like
great.
Studying in cafes is something I can do every single day. For her, she's like, I would rather go to like study in the library because like, you know, that's like the free option.
I see.
But for me, I can go whenever I want to like a cafe and like order a coffee and it's still like not that expensive.
Yeah, I think that would be a...
other students in other countries, like in the US. Even in the US, I barely saw people studying in cafes just because I don't think it's sustainable. Like you really can't do that.
It's very expensive to afford. I think this video could be a very good source for people outside of Turkey who are searching to find a destination to study, to continue their education, to consider Turkey as a affordable, good option. Yeah. Very friendly people.
Very good people.
Hospitable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just go to Starbucks and study, and you can afford that.
It's even crowded in Starbucks sometimes. Like that's how affordable it is. Even it's just you guys don't think it's affordable.
That's the thing is, I guess that for students, like if they want to go to UK or Turkey, I think Turkey would be, even for you as a Turkish citizen, Turkey would be safer than UK. I guess you're comparing
student life.
Student life.
I personally, I wouldn't stay in Turkey to work as a doctor, unfortunately, because
that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted. You goddamn it.
But I really wish I could though, because I love living here. I love the people here. I'm actually very sad to leave because I had such a positive experience here, but I just can't like continue living here and they pay like foreigners less as doctors. So it's like I'm not going to be making enough to like make up for the amount that we put in to get an education, the time and the effort, and like they're kind of overworked here as well. So I wish I could. I really wanted to. But
What's
and their exam is really hard. Like it's harder than the US exam, which is crazy. Yeah.
You've been to many cities
In
all
Turkey?
around the world,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which city would you ask out on a date?
You know, I don't know. There's a city that always stood out to me, which is Florence.
Florence,
Yep.
Italy.
Yep. It's the feeling that I got when I was in Florence. I have not gotten that feeling ever again in my whole life.
Really?
Just loved it so much. I can't explain it. I can't even explain why I would take it out. You know, like that instantaneous connection.
Yeah.
Immediately I would take it on a date. Like Florence was like one of the best cities I've ever been
Florence.
to. Yeah.
Nice.
I loved it.
And what were you doing in United States, by the way?
I was doing an internship.
An internship?
Yep. It was like an elective for university and I chose to do it abroad. And it was also one of the best experiences of my life.
I see.
And maybe it's because like maybe I have a positive outlook on like
Yeah, this is about Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah is so positive about everything, you know. Like we've been talking for a while,
maybe
and
I'm
she
naive
is
or something.
No.
but-
That's I think that's the right approach, to be honest, because we
Yeah.
have a very limited amount of time living on this planet.
Exactly.
And you gotta be positive, I guess, towards life.
I've never like had the only negative experience I've had. I'll tell you about that is Paris, because I stayed with a host family and they scammed me because they stole my
Paris.
money. Yeah,
Ooh.
like I was living with a host family and
Paris
then
failed.
one day I wake up and then my money's gone.
I
So
see.
that was like a sad experience for
I
me.
understand. I
Yeah.
understand. So now, what about what's so special about Istanbul? Like, you know, people can think of Boğaziçi Bridge. That's my favorite thing,
Yeah.
Boğaziçi Bridge. People can think of the Dolmabahce Palace, Topkapi Palace,
I've
Kiz
never been
Kulesi,
there.
Galata Kulesi. What is your favorite spot? What's special?
My favorite neighborhood is Karaköy.
Karaköy.
Karaköy. Very basic, but I just
It's
love
wonderful.
It. It's stunning.
One of the best neighborhoods of
I think
Istanbul
it's one of the
historically,
best.
and
Yep.
great buildings, great architecture.
You're
and
saying
everything.
it already. Like it's just so. It just brings me joy being there. It kind of gives you the same vibe as Florence.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like you feel the history and you feel like people are just like, you know, out and about, but you never see anyone like who's upset in Karaköy. At least that's my impression. Like if you go to like Eminönü, you can see some angry people, but just Karaköy is just so good vibes.
I see.
And it's more like for younger people, I feel like. So yeah, I love it there. And
I
Istanbul
see.
and I is there too. So like whenever I'm walking
I
around.
want to get there. Question.
Yeah.
You are a member of Istanbul&I community. I hope that we can have an opportunity very soon to invite
Chand.
Chand,
Yeah.
the director of the community,
He's
the
the
head of the
best.
community. He
He's
is
the
the
best.
best. Shout out to Chand from here.
Yep.
Best regards.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with Istanbul&I? Maybe you can give us an introduction, and in another episode we can invite Chand to explain the whole thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
don't spoil the whole thing.
Not gonna
Yeah.
spoil it.
Sure.
Okay, so basically, Istanbul&I. Actually, this is what I do. This is my job at Istanbul&I.
Really?
I'm the orientation officer.
So
I explain what Istanbul&I is to people on their first day. So
I'm
when
so happy to have you here
Yeah.
right now because of that. So please tell us, what is Istanbul&I?
Istanbul&I is basically, first of all, it's an NGO, so a non-profit
Istanbul&I
organization.
is an NGO
Yep.
in Istanbul.
Yeah. And basically its purpose is to bring together the youth to make an impact on the community. So we do like social events and then we also do volunteer events
Okay.
to like give back to the community.
Yeah.
So basically our events include like we have culture nights and then we have a lot of events where you get to like make friends. So like chai talks, you just sit on a table and everyone starts talking. Some like educational events, which is the language exchange. So you get to improve your own skills in a language. And what else? Oh, the volunteering is like my favorite. So we have a collaboration with Sokak Lambası, which is
What is it?
Sokak Lambası,
Okay.
which is also another NGO that prepares food for people who need it. And so you can volunteer as a member of Istanbul&I to prepare food with them and pack it and then distribute it to that local community. So they just like line up and you hand them out, and then you also get to have like a meal after from the food that you cooked. So that's once a week. And also we have Yedukere Animal Shelter. So you basically go to this animal shelter, you play with the dogs, you take care of them, and we mostly just like unpack the food. So it's like all this like, you know those sandwiches they sell at the grocery store? Yeah, we just keep opening them so they can have like food to feed the dogs with. And they do a bunch of other events, but these are like the main ones that I can think of right now.
Wonderful.
But it's brought me so much joy. Like, I think the past year has been one of the best years because of like the people that I met and like all the opportunities I was able to have because of Istanbul&I. It's been amazing. I think everyone, like any foreigner who's in Istanbul should definitely like visit at least Culture Night. Culture Night's the best.
Really?
It's like we have.
When is it? How can they learn about it?
On Istanbul&I's website. Yeah, they just had Iranian night.
I see.
Yeah, it was really nice, and they're gonna have.
Can I see the flyer?
They're gonna have like an Iraqi night on the 17th of June.
You're gonna cut that.
Yeah, we're gonna cut
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna comment on that flag because that's not my flag.
Oh, come on, bro.
Sorry, bro.
The other one sucks.
Sorry, no. Lion and Son.
Oh, no.
That's not about king. That's way before king of Iran.
You
Trust me.
sound like
wow.
me defending Qasim Pasha right now, bro. Like, it doesn't work.
Okay. So yeah.
So Culture Night, definitely. It's, I think, usually once a month. So this month is going to be on the 17th of June.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also sign up to be a member, or you can also sign up to have a position through their link tree on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very
Great.
welcoming community.
Wonderful.
You will literally find so many people.
And they're like Turkish people and expats.
Yes, that's the best part about it.
That's like
So,
the common ground.
yeah,
Turks and expats
coming together.
coming together in the same community
Yeah.
and contribute to Istanbul community,
Yep.
to Turkish community.
Yes.
Because I remember that during the earthquake, I was
they
part of the
did.
Telegram group there.
Really?
And I was seeing how many expats, they were trying to contribute
They did
to
the most.
earthquake zones.
It was so impressive. Like, they had the office open every single day for donations, and for donations like as in like money, and then donations like food and all these things.
And you
they
guys were
would,
taking them to Belediye, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, municipality.
So it's like if someone couldn't go all the way or doesn't know how to give it to the Belediye, would just do it for them.
I see.
So it would stay open from like 12 to like 8 at night. And
Wonderful.
they would take it.
Great job. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
For
Thank
the
you, Chand, and
contribution,
thank
yeah.
you to the
And thank
community
you,
in
Chand.
Istanbul.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
He's such a great leader.
Seeing expat, yes, I agree with that.
Yep.
Seeing expat community contributing to the host country they're living in, I think it's great.
Yeah, I feel like, because I told you how much I love Istanbul. Like, I've had such a good experience here, so I always wanted to feel like I can give back as much as I can.
Yes,
So it was a great
yes.
way to like do that.
That's
through
it. That's it.
Istanbul&I.
I agree
Yeah.
with that. If you're an expat and if you love Istanbul, you gotta do something for
Yeah.
Istanbul. Please yani. Lütfen.
And it's
Bir
not,
şey yapın ya.
it's not always easy to get involved in the community just because of the language barrier. So Istanbul&I is like a nice mediator for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So I
Great.
highly
Perfect.
recommend it.
Perfect. Okay. And my last question
The last
for you.
question. Yeah.
How's your Turkish?
Refuse to comment. No, so my Turkish needs some work. I should,
Ne kadar biliyorsun yani?
yani, enough. Enough. I don't want to say anything in Turkish. So I know enough to communicate. Clearly, I'm studying medicine in Turkey, so
Evet.
I know enough to communicate with the patients medically, but like not enough to like sustain a conversation about like their current situation at home,
Okay.
So I can ask them, oh, like, do you have pain? Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? But I can't like,
How do you say you have pain?
it's been a minute. It's like, I just say arvar.
You feel shy.
Can you cancel this part?
Yeah, no worries.
It's
So,
really embarrassing.
How do you describe Türkiye with a Turkish word?
Kalabalık. That's it.
Crowded?
I
That's
always
Istanbul,
use
not
that.
Turkey. Turkey is not.
Turkey? Oh, Turkey is just aşk.
Aşk.
Yep.
Wow.
Very
Nice.
basic word, but it is like one of
It's
like
a deep word.
yeah, it's one of my aşks is Turkey.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that.
Yep.
Yeah, great. And thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
joining.
Yeah.
To having you was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And today we had this great episode with Sarah from Tunisia, studying medicine in Istanbul.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening. Please contact us info@metotalk.cafe. Subscribe, comment, like. If you don't want to do it, just don't. And have a great day. Take care of yourself.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys for listening.
See you guys.
Bye.